Despite stern warnings from the Galactic Council, the Zord Dominion scoffed at the notion of fearing humans, until they truly understood fear. The Galactic Council convened in a grand chamber, its opulence and advanced technology a reflection of centuries of interstellar diplomacy. Representatives from numerous species filled the seats, their expressions ranging from concern to indifferent. At the center of the room, High Commander Valtor of the Zord Dominion stood tall, his crimson robes billowing in the artificial breeze. His reptilian eyes scanned the assembly with barely concealed disdain. Counselor Ven of the Eldery took the floor, her voice amplified to command attention. High Commander Valtor, the Council urges you to reconsider your planned invasion of Earth. Humanity has proven itself unpredictable and resilient. Underestimating them could lead to catastrophic consequences. Valtor's lips curled into a sneer. Counselor Ven, your concerns are noted but unnecessary. The Zord Dominion has faced and conquered far greater threats than a primitive species on a backwater planet. Our technology and military might are unparalleled. Murmurs spread through the chamber, but Ven remained resolute. Do not mistake our warning for fear, High Commander. Humanity's resourcefulness and determination have turned the tide against superior foes before. We urge caution. With a dismissive wave, Valtor turned away, signaling the end of his participation in the discussion. The Zord Dominion does not heed the fears of lesser species. We will proceed as planned. Back in the war room of the Zord Dominion's flagship, the Invincible, Valtor and his advisors reviewed the invasion strategy. Holographic displays projected Earth and its defenses, highlighting potential targets. Valtor's chief strategist, General Crix, outlined the plan with clinical precision. We will strike simultaneously at key military installations and communication hubs, Crix explained. This will cripple their ability to coordinate a defense and sow chaos among their ranks. Valtor nodded approvingly. Excellent. We will show the Galactic Council and all others who dare doubt us the true might of the Zord Dominion. As preparations for the invasion intensified, Lieutenant Zarth watched with a mix of awe and unease. The young officer respected Valtor's leadership but couldn't shake the nagging feeling that they were underestimating their enemy. Zarth approached Valtor cautiously, his voice measured. High Commander, perhaps we should consider a more measured approach. The Galactic Council's warning, though condescending, might hold some merit. Valtor's eyes narrowed. Lieutenant Zarth, are you suggesting we cower before a primitive species? The Zord Dominion does not retreat in the face of inferior opponents. Zarth straightened, suppressing his doubts. Of course not, High Commander. I merely suggest caution. Valtor dismissed him with a curt nod. Your concern is noted. Return to your duties. Soon, the Zord fleet assembled in Earth's orbit, their sleek ships bristling with weaponry as they emerged from hyperspace. The initial strike began. Earth's defense satellites were obliterated in moments, and military installations across the globe found themselves under sudden and devastating assault. Panic rippled through Earth's command centers. General Marcus Adams, a seasoned veteran, quickly assumed command of the chaotic situation. Get me a status report, he barked, his voice cutting through the din. Multiple strikes on our defense systems, sir, an aide responded. Satellite communications are down, and we've lost contact with several bases. Adams clenched his jaw, his mind racing. Mobilize all available forces. We need to regroup and launch a counteroffensive. And get me Captain John Reynolds. In a hidden military base nestled in the Rocky Mountains, Captain John Reynolds received the urgent call. Tall and broad-shouldered, with a stern demeanor softened only by his sharp blue eyes, Reynolds was a man of action. He gathered his Special Forces team, each member an expert in unconventional warfare. Listen up, Reynolds said, his voice steady. The Zord have hit us hard, but we're not out of the fight. We're going to disrupt their operations from the inside. Guerrilla tactics, sabotage, whatever it takes to make them regret setting foot on our planet. The team nodded, their faces grim but determined. They moved out under the cover of night, slipping through forests and mountains to avoid detection. Their first target, a Zord encampment near a vital supply route. Under Reynolds' direction, they set up an ambush. The Zord troops, confident in their superiority, marched into the trap. Explosions erupted, and chaos ensued as the humans attacked with precision and ferocity. The Zord, caught off guard, fell back in disarray. In the aftermath, Reynolds and his team regrouped. "Good work," he said, "but this is just the beginning. We need to keep the pressure on and make them realize they've bitten off more than they can chew." Back on the Invincible, Valtor fumed as reports of the ambush reached him. "How could this happen?" he demanded, his voice a dangerous growl. General Crix shifted uneasily. "It appears the humans are more resourceful than anticipated. We may need to adjust our strategy." Valtor's eyes blazed with anger. "No. We will crush them with overwhelming force. Prepare for a full-scale assault." As the Zord forces regrouped and prepared for their next move, a sense of unease settled over the Dominion's ranks. The humans had shown they would not be easily subdued, and while Valtor's pride demanded a swift and brutal victory, the seeds of doubt had been sown. High above Earth, the stage was set for a conflict that would test the limits of both human ingenuity and Zord hubris. The Galactic Council's warning echoed in the minds of all who had heard it, a reminder that even the mightiest empires could fall when they underestimated their foes. In the dense forest near the Zord encampment, Captain John Reynolds and his Special Forces team moved like shadows. The night was their ally, cloaking their movements and muffling their presence. Reynolds paused, signaling his team to halt. He scanned the area with a pair of night vision goggles, noting the positions of Zord sentries. "Hold positions," Reynolds whispered into his comm, "wait for my signal." His team fanned out, taking cover behind trees and rocks. Corporal Lisa Chan, the team's demolitions expert, quietly prepared charges, her hands moving with practiced precision. Next to her, Sergeant Mike Thompson adjusted his rifle, eyes trained on the enemy. Reynolds observed the Zord soldiers, their confidence evident in their relaxed postures. He couldn't help but feel a grim satisfaction. They had no idea what was coming. With a quick gesture, he gave the signal. In a coordinated strike, the humans unleashed their attack. Explosions erupted, throwing the Zord camp into chaos. Chan's charges tore through equipment and supplies, while Thompson's sharpshooting picked off officers. The Zord, caught off guard, scrambled for cover, but the humans were relentless. Within minutes, the camp lay in ruins, smoke and flames licking the night sky. Reynolds regrouped his team at a prearranged rendezvous point. "Excellent work, everyone," he said, his voice low but firm. "This is just the beginning. We need to keep hitting them hard and fast." The team nodded, their resolve unshaken. They knew the stakes, failure wasn't an option. Back at the Zord Command Center, High Commander Valtor raged. Reports of the ambush had reached him, and his fury was palpable. "How could a handful of humans cause such devastation?" he demanded, glaring at General Crix. "The humans are employing guerrilla tactics, sir," Crix replied, shifting uncomfortably. "They're using the terrain to their advantage and striking with precision." Valtor's eyes narrowed. "Then we will draw them out. Set a trap. Make them think they have the upper hand, and then crush them." Lieutenant Zarth, standing at the edge of the room, watched the exchange with a sinking feeling. His earlier doubts about underestimating the humans now seemed justified, but he held his tongue. Valtor's wrath was not something he wished to provoke further. Meanwhile, in a hidden base nestled deep within the mountains, Reynolds and his team planned their next move. The base, a converted mine, was a hub of activity. Maps and charts covered the walls, and a constant stream of intelligence reports flowed in. "We've hit their supply lines," Reynolds said, addressing his team and a group of resistance leaders. "Now we need to disrupt their communications. If we can cut off their ability to coordinate, we can further hinder their efforts." Chan nodded. "I've got the charges ready. We can take out their relay stations and mobile command units." Thompson added, "And I've got eyes on a high-ranking officer. Taking him out could throw their command structure into disarray." Reynolds approved the plan. "Let's move out. We hit them tonight." The team moved swiftly and silently through the forest, making their way to the first relay station. The Zord had fortified the area, but Reynolds had anticipated this. They approached under the cover of darkness, using the dense foliage to remain unseen. Chan set the charges with meticulous care, while Thompson and the others provided cover. Once everything was in place, they retreated to a safe distance. The explosion was deafening, a pillar of fire and debris shooting into the sky. The Zord, once again, were thrown into chaos. Before the dust had settled, Reynolds led his team to the next target, a mobile command unit. Thompson took his position, sighting the officer through his scope. With a steady hand, he fired. The officer dropped, and pandemonium.